ForeFlight Mobile makes it easy as pie to find details about any airport or landing facility on record with the U.S. FAA and for airports in more than 220 countries worldwide. The fastest way to get to an airport is to enter its identifier in the search bar at the top of the ForeFlight home screen. You can also search by a city or zip code if you're unsure of the identifier. Let's have a look at Kilo Sierra Foxtrot Bravo in Orlando, Florida. An airport's detailed listing starts off with basic location information, then dives right into the information you'll need when using that field. The large icon at the top left shows an overview diagram of the airport, which we can tap for a better view of items such as FBO locations and the general airport layout. The taxi diagram gives the official NACO taxiway diagram, which can be downloaded for offline reference. Note the orientation of this diagram. You'd want to view this in landscape by rotating your iPhone, so be sure to tap the lock before rotating. That will ensure that the diagram doesn't also rotate as you move the phone. All of the charts and plates in ForeFlight Mobile can be zoomed and panned using the conventional pinch and drag gestures. In the NOTAMs and TFRs area, you can check for updated information at the field. ForeFlight offers translated NOTAM information with icons indicating the area the NOTAM addresses, such as a runway or a taxiway. The TFR tab shows us the temporary flight restrictions in effect, and with a tap we can see its details, phone numbers, and a graphic with the TFR displayed over a sectional image, which we can also tap to view more closely. Finally, under NOTAMs, we can check for other TFRs in the region by viewing the items filed under the local Air Route Traffic Control Center. Lastly, in the top segment of the airport listing, we can conveniently add this airport to our list of favorites, or remove it as desired. What follows now in the listing for our airport are all of the various details we need to reference to be knowledgeable and prepared when visiting this field. First are the frequencies, and any phone numbers listed with the FAA are given here and can be dialed just by tapping. First are the frequencies specific to this airport, then other frequencies that may be relevant to your flights here. Next up is the runway data. Each item here shows us the most important elements to review, the runway headings, and physical characteristics that let us know whether it would be appropriate for our aircraft. A tap will give us the rest of the information, including traffic direction, lighting, and relevant procedures. Earlier we mentioned downloading diagrams for the airport, and here's a good spot to talk about that in more detail. Note the gray rectangle to the left of each procedure saying Not Saved. That lets us know that we do not have a local copy of the procedure. Had we downloaded the appropriate procedure bundle using the download manager, which is covered in depth in a separate video at ForeFlight.com, those gray icons would be replaced with green Saved icons. That's one way to get sets of procedures onto your phone. You can also get them individually as needed by viewing them here. When we ask for a procedure that we have not downloaded previously, ForeFlight Mobile will use the internet connection, either Wi-Fi or over the cell network, to retrieve that specific plate. We can zoom and pan it as expected, and when we return now to the runway details, we see that it is saved. ForeFlight will cache any plates that you view so that you can access them offline. Those were the procedures specific to the runway we were viewing. We can also see all procedures available for this airport, including the taxiway diagram, which was saved when we viewed it earlier. And what's even better is that we can download all of them in one quick action. We see the dates that these procedures are effective, and you can see that they are now all marked as saved. The following segments in the airport listing give general details about the field and its area, remarks from the FAA, AFD, or other source, fuel availability, contact information, and listings for attractions and services in the area with dialable phone numbers when available. Note that FBOs are not included in this listing, but rather have their own separate section which we can access using the button at the bottom right. FBO details include the location on the field, hours, frequencies, direct dialable telephone numbers, fuel types, services available, and more. From any spot in this airport area, we can use the button at the top right to hop over to the maps to see several different maps and charts of the area, as well as radar and satellite overlays. These maps are covered in greater detail in a separate video, so we'll just take a quick peek at the options now. ForeFlight also makes it easy to get information about other fields nearby by checking the Near section. A tap on any of these entries would take us to the details for that field. Finally, we can check the current and forecast weather for the airport as well as the winds aloft. ForeFlight presents an easy-to-read view of a METAR, alerting us to its age, giving the encoded version, and then breaking it out into the corresponding translated elements. The TAF section has a similar format and will show us separate translations for each report period within the TAF, with the current conditions highlighted with a bright blue marker. Lastly, the winds section gives us the winds and temperatures aloft for the area, and if the data is reported from a remote site, ForeFlight will indicate the distance and direction to that site. That's the ForeFlight Mobile presentation of an airport in a nutshell. When we first access the airport, we use the search bar at the top of the launch screen. There are several other ways to get to an airport too. Remember that we added our airport as a favorite? That put it in our favorites list here under the yellow star, giving us a fast way to see the conditions at it and any other favorite fields, as well as a quick way to get to its details with a tap. We can also expect to find it in the Recents area since we recently viewed it, and there it is. Finally, we can browse the entire database of worldwide airports that ForeFlight Mobile contains by going to the Airports area and drilling down to the airport of interest. This process is especially helpful when you have a destination in mind but not a specific field. You can easily see that ForeFlight Mobile arms you with extensive information for lots of airports. Nearly all of that data can be downloaded onto your phone, so you never have to worry about losing access when you lose your internet connection. For more information on ForeFlight Mobile and any of the features you've seen in this video, please visit foreflight.com to view additional videos or to contact us.